Welcome to another episode of Me, My Wife, and Sports. I'm your host, Fitz, with my lovely co-host, Darcy.
Hi.
Well, Darcy, it's been a lot of action going on in the professional football league with all the transactions, trades, and I guess we can just dive into some of the things that were transpiring first of all, I think the Eagles did Saquon Barkley right by giving him a 2-year, $41.2 million contract extension, which makes him the highest paid running back. And the funny part about that is he's one of the oldest running backs.
Yeah.
So this should be a lesson to them young running backs. What is he doing that I'm not doing?
Right. I don't know.
But that's what a team should.
Performing, basically. Yeah. Put his money where his mouth was.
But, you get a lot of these players, they get a few dollars and then they
stop.
They feel they halfway do it because I got the money. So
it's almost like they perform and then they get money and then they stop performing. What happened to pay for performance? They don't do pay for performance in sports, huh? That's only in the real world.
I guess. Well, no, actually,
you gotta work.
It's a pay for performance. Saquon, he got paid for performance.
He did.
Yeah,
and took him to a Super Bowl, and then he got his check.
Yep.
Makes sense.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it, Dak. Hello. And everybody know I love Jerry Jones, but hello, Jerry. Make them take us to the Super Bowl first.
Well, I'll be happy with just taking us through the playoffs.
Can we get to a playoff?
Just past the first round.
Can we get to a second round playoff game? How about that?
Yeah. And 4-time Pro Bowl defensive end Max Crosby worked out a great deal of $106.5 million contract extension with the Raiders. Yes.
So now they got...
Now, just to put that in perspective...
I don't know if he's worth that money, though.
Yeah. But to put it in perspective, when that initially came out, he was the highest non-quarterback paid player. But since all this free agency and these moves, that was squashed within a week.
Yeah. So now the Raiders have Pete Carroll.
Right.
They're looking for a quarterback, and they keep in...
Oh, they got a quarterback.
Who's a quarterback?
They signed...
And they ain't signed nobody.
You sure?
I don't know. Don't start me the line.
I know they signed.
It might be the pain talking. I don't know.
Just so our listeners know, Miss Darcy here is dealing with some shoulder pain. And a groin injury from her Peloton cycling.
Oh my God.
I told her she got to stop those race crosses.
Peloton users know what that is. Thank you, Cody. It was Cody's class. Y'all know how Cody is. Shout out to Cody, my Peloton users. But anywho.
Well, Myles Garrett reached an agreement with the Cleveland Browns. He's going to make 40.
Again, he owed.
He's going to make $40 million per year. Includes almost $123 million in guaranteed money.
You know where Daniel Jones is going?
Hold on, which makes him the highest paid non-quarterback. See how quickly that changed? Myles Garrett.
So you just said Crosby was.
Crosby was. He didn't hold it for long because then the Browns made a deal with Garrett and he ended up making the most,
Okay.
And they said he's the highest paid in NFL history non-quarterback.
Okay.
And the funny part about it, and I like these players are getting smart. And part of his contract, he has a no trade clause because that's when to me.
Oh, Garrett does?
Yes. And that's when you're taking control of your own destiny because otherwise you're leaving it up to the owners, the GM, and all those guys to determine your fate.
Mm-hmm.
So now, hey, you can't trade me. You can cut me, but you can't trade me. And you still have to pay my money if you feel you want to cut me and you can't get anything for me because I don't want to be traded. So, and as we know, the Chargers released their outside linebacker, Joey Bosa, and he had been with them for many, many years. I think about 9 years. It's the only team he's been with. And that move saved him about $25 million in cap space. And Bosa's only 29, you know. He was a number 3 pick in 2016 draft. And everybody knows by now, Justin Fields signed with the Jets. To me, I think that's a bad move because the Jets don't have the pieces in place to protect him. But who knows with the new coach? But the good part about Justin Fields' deal, too, he has a $40 million deal and $30 million is guaranteed. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs of how this guarantee works, whether if they violate some policy or if they get hurt, is it still on the table? I don't know. And you know what I was surprised about, though, was Sam Darnold going to Seahawks. Were you?
Yeah, I didn't see that, but
because I guess,
I mean, that's how, some of these moves are just boring.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't keep up with every move.
Well,
and I don't think anybody does. Like,
Right.
I mean, what moves out there that are really interesting?
Well,
What's hot news?
I always
What's
like to look at the quarterback because the quarterback is the general of the team. The
Right.
quarterback can make you or break you.
Yeah. Matt Crosby, Myles Garrett, no, not a big,
Well, Garrett's.
Hey, Cleveland didn't do a whole lot last
I
year,
know.
and they had Myles Garrett.
I know.
So,
But you need
just like we didn't do a whole lot last year, and we had Dak Prescott, paid a lot of money for him. Just because you pay a lot of money for somebody doesn't mean anything.
Right. But Myles Garrett, he does perform. Now, he can't.
He performs, but
It
he
takes
ain't
a
the
team.
whole team.
That's what I'm saying. It takes a
Exactly.
team.
So, I mean, like talking about like big money moves isn't
Mhm.
necessarily news.
Right.
So, what is news
And of course,
that people
right.
are talking
Well,
about?
it's just amazing with all this.
Because the Myles Garrett thing came and went. Really, people didn't really know. I mean, Cleveland fans might be
Well, I
interested.
saw a lot of it on ESPN because he's a big name and his numbers are great for his position. Well, that's just like Josh Allen, too. They just gave him a $330 million contract.
Yeah.
So now he's the highest paid, and his guarantee is $250 million, which is outrageous. But, and the bad part about all this, we, the consumer, are going to pay that price tag when you go to the games.
When you go to the game, sure.
Yes.
That's what people need to know. If you got a player that just got a big check, be looking at your ticket prices.
Right.
Know your ticket prices just went up.
Definitely.
So I really hope y'all like Myles Garrett and Max Crosby and watching them play
I know.
and are really big fans of them because them jersey prices just went up.
And I don't think the Steelers made a choice on whether they're keeping Russell or not. I'm assuming they are.
Let Justin go. So
Yeah.
Justin is at the Jets,
Right.
which they need a quarterback because Aaron is gone. And
Well, wasn't it rumored that Aaron might go to
the Steelers? I don't see Aaron really fitting in with the Steelers culture.
I don't either because
He wants too much control.
and
And him and Tomlin are they're not going to mesh.
Tomlin runs that team.
Tomlin runs that team.
And he's let that team know on many occasions.
And the ownership has given him 100% control
Right.
of that team.
Right.
They're not going to be firing people because Aaron said so.
Right.
So, yeah. So at this point, it's got to be Aaron really wants to keep playing
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to conform,
Right.
or the Jets' new coach said, I know the Jets' new coach, they said that Aaron Glenn said, yeah, he ain't the quarterback. He's not my quarterback.
That's good. Let him know.
And so
Because he really thought he was running that whole team.
And when they got that new coach,
Mm-hmm.
that was one of the first things Glenn said.
Where did he come from? That name sounds so familiar.
Oh, we did this already.
Oh,
Was it Detroit?
I think it was.
I think it was Detroit.
Yeah. Or Arizona. One of the two. Yeah.
No, it wasn't Arizona. I think it was Detroit. But so Aaron must really want to keep playing. He ain't ready to retire yet, which
No.
he really should be.
He should go out on a high note, which when he left Green Bay, that's how I should have went. Because you went to the Jets and you tore your Achilles. And then when you healed, you really didn't do much. And not saying that it's all his fault. You got to give him the pieces to make it happen. but I've seen him when he was at Green Bay. And of course, he was young.
Aaron chasing Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That's just the bottom line.
Trying to break their record.
He chasing Tom Brady.
That's not going to happen.
He's never going to be Tom Brady, and he's running out of time. So just let it go.
Ran out of time.
He's ran out of time, yeah. He's out of time.
See, Brady's longevity stems from him not being hit. Because when he was with the Patriots, they protected Brady.
Yeah.
And then when he went to Tampa, they protected Brady.
Yep.
Aaron, he's been hit several ways and several times.
Mm-hmm.
That was very impactful.
Yeah, so.
Well, we'll see. I'm excited about the upcoming season. So, and of course, like you said, to see what our Cowboys, what they have up their sleeve in this draft. Yeah. So,
but they better come up with something.
Jerry always comes up with at least one or two.
He better come up with something.
I'm excited. When
is the draft?
I think around mid-March.
I know it.
Mid-April, I'm sorry.
Mid-April.
Because I think the last day for the draft is April the 19th, I believe, which is a Saturday.
Oh, Sauce Gardner got traded?
What?
Sauce Gardner got traded.
I did not know that. When did this happen?
Today.
Who did he go to?
To the Texans. CJ.
Well, if Diggs recuperates and come back strong.
What? Who? Diggs who?
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs is on. Is he still with the Houston?
Yeah. Remember he got traded?
He been hurt for so long.
He got injured. When he got there, he ended up getting injured. And he was out for the season. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well.
And he's up in age, so for his position, which is receiver.
Well, Sauce just got traded to.
I wonder why they did that. What did they get for?
He probably wanted out. Sauce Gardner had been counting on Aaron Rodgers. See, all of them put their eggs in the Rodgers basket. Devontae is gone.
I know. Devontae is out with, I just saw it where he went to. It just slips my mind as we speak.
See, those are like Houston. They building a team.
Is that where
Sauce is gone?
Sauce gone. Yeah. Okay.
So that defense, and their coach was he an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman? I think he was a defensive lineman, so he know how to build a defense. That's a good acquisition for Houston. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about these teams that are building teams that you got to be looking out for.
Right.
The Commanders are going to be dangerous.
They just got Debo and somebody else.
Yep. They just got another. Oh, the Commanders.
Was it a receiver?
No, I think it was a defensive person.
Yeah, they're doing the right moves and building that squad.
Yep.
They're going to be the serious contenders.
They're keeping Ertz. They signed Ertz. They re-signed John Bates, a tight end. Re-signed tight end Zach Ertz.
Mm-hmm.
And, who else did they keep? Who else did they get? Can't remember right now. But they building that team. Daniel Jones from the Giants is going to the Vikings.
Right.
Which I don't know how that's going to play out. No, the Colts. He's going to the Colts. Daniel Jones is going to the Colts. And he's going to have to compete with Anthony Richardson.
Where is he coming from? New York?
Yeah.
Because Daniel
Jones is coming from the Giants.
Yeah. And it's funny, the Giants just re-signed that, what's his name, DeVito or whatever, that backup quarterback, the Italian guy that they were making such hoopla showing his.
Yeah. Yeah, he only played like one game or something. He didn't play that.
He played a few games. Yeah, because the quarterbacks that got hurt.
So it's a lot. It's still a lot of moves.
I know this is a good look at what all the transitions for each team, which was kind of great. Kenny Pickett, the Cleveland Browns acquired him in a trade with the Eagles. Basically, they traded backup quarterbacks. The Eagles gave them their backup quarterback, and they took Kenny Pickett and moved him to the Browns.
Kenny Pickett. Oh, yeah.
And the Browns' backup quarterback was Dorian Thompson-Robinson, which I never heard of. He was a fifth-round pick. It's going to be interesting how things play out. But I can't believe Sauce Gardner. That's
big.
And the thing with Daniel Jones, too, he only signed a one-year deal with the Colts. So I think this is more of a test than saying we're going to...
Yeah, well, the Colts, they got Anthony Richardson, who really hasn't played a whole season because he's very injury-prone. So I guess we just got to wait and see what happens with that.
Have you heard of the quarterback, Nick Mullins? Jacksonville Jaguars signed him to a
That name sounds
deal.
familiar.
And they didn't pay him much, only $6.5 million with $3 million guaranteed. But he's considered their backup, I'm assuming, unless he wins outright the position.
He sounds like he's been around for a while, though.
And what about Jarrett Stidham? He's the Denver Broncos quarterback. I think he's a backup as well.
Oh, you know who the Commanders, they got the left tackle from the Houston Texans, Laramie Tunzel, in exchange for a package of draft picks, 3rd and 7th round picks, plus 2026 2nd and 4th round selections.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, and that quarterback for the New York Giants is Tommy DeVito, but they only re-signed him for a 1-year contract.
I hope that this is going to be a test for the Commanders. It's going to be a test. I ain't going to say nothing. We'll see.
I tell you, and I was listening on the radio.
We shall see.
Ertz, they were doing an interview with him, and he told his agent, I want to stay in Washington, so make it happen.
Oh, okay.
So basically, they could have given him $10. He would have said, nah.
Oh, Geno got traded.
Oh, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yes. He went to the Raiders.
Yes.
Geno. I knew.
Geno's fault. And I don't know. I'm saying it, but it's very coincidental that Pete Carroll is now the Raiders coach, right, and Geno is going to the Raiders.
Exactly.
So I don't know if Pete Carroll had anything to do with that, if that was what
I'm sure
wanted or what. And Geno did do well under Pete Carroll, but he did well last year as well.
Did.
So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. And then Devontae Adams went to the Rams.
The Rams. Okay.
Did they really need another wide receiver? They had Cooper Kupp. They had, what's that other kid?
Weren't they talking about putting Cooper Kupp on the trading block?
I mean, they need to because he's very incident prone. But what was that other guy you had, number 15 on the Rams? The one you picked up late in the fantasy season.
Oh, yeah, I know you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
You know what I'm talking about, though?
I do.
Okay, but they had him. He was really good. Okay, we're looking up his name. Number 15 on the LA Rams team. We calling out numbers. We don't have a research team looking it up.
We are the
research team. But anyway, the Rams, they have a good wide receiving core. So to add Devontae to that is just another weapon for them.
Right.
Where he falls, is he 1, 2, 3? I don't know. That's going to be interesting. But so very, very interesting.
Now, the Rams are in the AFC?
The Rams?
Yes.
I don't know what division they're in. And then they trying to figure out what's going on with Tyreek. Oh, the other thing? You forgot. See, these are the big things. These are the big, got to talk about the big ones. The big ones, DK. DK going to Pittsburgh.
I know. That is a good move.
That is huge.
Because that dude, I was surprised they even got rid of him.
I know.
I know he's up there in age, but
he wasn't happy. He wasn't happy in Seattle. And I don't know if he wasn't, I don't know why he wasn't happy, but he just wasn't happy. So now he's in Pittsburgh with, and they did not have a deep wide receiving core. Because really all they had was, is it Pickett?
Pickens.
Yeah, George Pickens.
Pickens, yes, I had him.
Yes, you had him. And then he left. Who was the other wide receiver on Pittsburgh's team? Pickens, and I can't think of who the other person was, but they weren't deep.
Right. And they did. They needed
and they needed him, and Russell got an arm.
And I was going to say they put him and Russell back together.
Yes,
they were in Seattle together.
Yes.
And that's what a lot of coaches and GMs are trying to do, because they did that same thing with Rodgers and Devontae.
Yep.
But it just didn't work out. Yeah.
And then I don't think they had a full year together. I don't think Devontae and Rodgers had a full year together. I think he came because he was hurt.
Right.
And then he came toward the end of the year. I don't think they had a full year together, but yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. Now, you remember Joshua Dobbs? I think he was quarterback for Minnesota.
He started at Arizona and then he went to Minnesota. Yeah.
Well, he's with New England now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He has a 2-year deal for $8 million.
Good for him. I'm glad they're giving him a shot.
Yeah. I thought he was a decent quarterback. But you know what? I think Minnesota is putting their eggs all in the basket with the rookie from from Michigan, who got hurt.
Oh, J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you heard me say it before.
Wait a minute. You said Minnesota, right?
Right.
Yes.
And you heard me say it before, even when he was in college playing, I didn't think he was that great of a quarterback. It's just Michigan had a lot of good players that made him look good.
Yeah.
But, and a lot of times the receiver don't get the credit that the quarterback gets. Like, I always go back to Doug Flutie when he threw that Hail Mary when he was in Boston College. And everybody gave praise to Doug Flutie, but hell, the receiver who caught it in a crowd of other players, I think, get a little credit. But, hey, I could be wrong. So it is going to be interesting. All right. Moving on to NBA. My Lakers, they were doing so well. Now they dropped to third. And hopefully, they will make the playoffs. But the Thunder is killing it. They only have, I think, 12 losses. So they're running for first. And don't sleep on Cleveland. Cleveland has been on a roll here. And just with my Lakers, I thought it wasn't going to work between LeBron and, what's his name? Doncic?
Oh, yeah.
But
is it Luka?
Luka. And it turned out it's working perfectly. I think Luka is embracing LeBron's experience and leadership. And LeBron is understanding that Luka is going to be the future of the franchise. And he's just doing his part. But now LeBron is out for the season because...
he's out. Because he got a groin injury too.
Yeah, exactly. So
that took him out for the season. I thought they said only 1 to 2 weeks.
I think he's done for the season.
Wow.
I could be wrong. The last thing I read said he was out for the season because at his age, hey, everybody has an expiration date. At his age, playing the sport he's playing, it takes a little longer to heal.
Right?
Especially he's going 800 miles an hour on everything. He has a great work ethic, which I admire about him.
Right.
And for the longest, I wasn't a LeBron fan.
It's still saying he's only to miss 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. Let me see. To miss time after suffering groin injury versus, they're not going to say.
Yeah. They're going to keep it up in the air. But we will see what will happen.
Basically, they're going to wait and see a little bit longer, see how the season goes.
Right.
And then if they close, because where are they at in the outlook for?
Who is that?
The Lakers.
They're in third place right now as of today.
Oh, so they got a chance.
Oh, yeah. Because they had first place for a minute. And then, of course, the Thunder moved up, which I got to look at the Thunder. I know they have some decent players, especially what's the guard name?
For who?
For the Thunder, the Canadian guy.
SJA?
SJ, yes.
SGA?
SGA? Is that SGA?
SG.
Okay. SG.
Yeah.
He's doing well for them, as always. But, I feel bad for Kyrie Irving, who is done for the season.
Oh, yeah.
Had that freak accident where he tore his ACL. Oh, I just hate thinking about it.
He twisted his knee or something, they said. He tore his ACL.
Yeah.
But he did something. They said he stepped wrong with his knee, and that's what happened.
Yeah, it was just a freak accident from what they're saying. So we will see. It's going to be interesting on how things play out because you have Cleveland in the Eastern standing as number 1, and the Celtics are close behind, though. So it's going to be one of those type of things because I think the Celtics are about 8 or 9 games behind. And we still got a little ways to go. Not too much, but it's still a little ways to go. And, of course, OKC, they're doing...
So right now, they're number 1 in the West.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cavaliers are number 1 in the East.
Right.
Where are the Celtics at?
Celtics is second. They're in the East.
Oh, okay, they're in the East.
Yes. They're right under
and the
Cleveland.
Nuggets.
Yeah.
The Timberwolves are way down.
It's going to be interesting come playoffs. And I'm excited to see who's going to take it this year. Now, I don't know if you saw, but Netflix is getting ready to release on June 30th of this year a basketball documentary on Caitlin Clark. Oh, no,
I didn't see that.
Yeah, they talk a lot about her on-the-court activity, her endorsement deals, but this is supposed to capture the everyday life of Caitlin Clark, a little bit of her private life, so people get a better perspective. Now, I know, what's her name from the Chicago team harps on Caitlin a lot. What's her name, AJ, or the female for Chicago Skyline? Their star player. Her and Caitlin, they always...
Angel Reese?
Angel Reese. That's the one I'm thinking of. I know they have a lot of animosity because they feel that Caitlin is getting all the endorsements, getting all the publicity. But that's the way it is, unfortunately. And one thing that was, I have to agree, I think Caitlin was Female Athlete of the Year for Time magazine or Sports Illustrated, one of them. And the co-owner of the Washington Mystics stated that she felt that the cover should have incorporated the WNBA in general because it was a collective effort to put the WNBA on the map. Granted, Caitlin had the biggest joke for the organization, but I think Angel Reese and all the other players as well had a lot to do with it and so forth. So it's going to be kind of interesting. I'm looking forward to watching it to maybe get a different perspective. Because, you know, some of those documentaries we watch, it gives a different light. And you start thinking, it's like, okay, now I know why they do what they do.
Yeah, it'll be interesting too. And what channel is that on?
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Yep. And I'll post it on our site. But it's June 30th, 2025 on Netflix. It should be.
Oh, it's not till June.
Yes, June. So I'm kind of excited to see it. And as you know, Selection Sunday is March 16th.
Did you know Dana Tereso is retiring?
No.
Teresi is retiring?
She should. Hell, she's been there, almost 20 years? She's been a long time. I used to watch her when she played for Connecticut and won all those championships. Tarazi. Yeah, she's a hell of a ball player and still going strong at her age.
Yep.
Because if not the oldest, one of the oldest in the top 3 in the league. So,
and she should be the emblem. You know, like
yeah. No, you know who should be the emblem? Cheryl Swoops.
Oh yeah,
because she came in and did a whole lot for the league.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sheila Johnson, like I said, the co-owner of the Washington Mystics, stated that, you know, it should have been a team photo of the league. It should be considered like the entire league of the year instead of just
one person.
Yeah, putting it on Caitlin. But, you know, Caitlin, wherever she went, she sold out arenas.
Yeah.
And they had to move to different venues. So it's like the female Jordan, you know. It is.
Yeah,
what it
you know,
is.
I mean, you know, did they feel some kind of way when it happened to Michael Jordan? Did the NBA feel some kind of way when but they probably didn't because they was already selling out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's hard. It's hard to gauge.
Yeah, and the NBA is always looking for a face because right now the NBA is revamping itself because the NBA, like the All-Star Weekend, they had the mini tournaments within.
Yeah,
and
nobody watches.
And then at the start of the season, they have, the in-season tournament.
Yeah.
They're just trying to do a lot of different things.
Something that's going to catch on.
Exactly. That's going to light a spark.
Exactly.
Because right now, in my opinion, I think you got more people watching the WNBA.
Exactly.
I never really watched it. I started watching it.
I'm waiting to hear that these women have gotten something new because, you know, last year they got their own private planes or they didn't have to fly coach.
Right.
They got private planes.
Right.
And they got something else last year as a result of the publicity that they were getting.
Well, I know Vegas ownership or the city of Vegas paid $100,000 to each player
for
in addition
or something.
No, it was part of their.
It was just
pay
part. Okay.
In addition to their normal salary.
Okay.
Because they felt that they weren't getting just pay.
Right. So that was good. So I'm waiting to hear that they got another bump on something this year, but we haven't heard that. They did get a new team, so that's something good.
2 new teams, isn't it?
I don't know what the other one is, but I'm looking at Serena Williams is going to be part owner of the Toronto Tempo. So congratulations to Toronto and Serena for that as we get another team to join the WNBA and the opportunities that will open up for everyone.
Now, I don't know if you heard, and I'm still checking on it, but there's rumor that Angel Reese and some other players want to go on strike for better wages.
Right when it gets good?
Yeah.
No, this ain't the time.
Exactly. So I don't know how true that is. I'm still looking into it.
Yeah, you need to check that out.
Yeah.
Check that out.
Now, did you know that...
Did I know what?
About
the draft? Their draft is...
Duke's assistant coach, Jay Lucas, is leaving after Duke goes through...
For the women?
For the men.
For the men, okay.
Yeah. He's going to be a head coach of Miami. So kudos to him.
Duke. For the men. Wow.
Yeah. He's an assistant head coach of Duke, Jay Lucas. But he worked out a deal. And he's a minority. And he worked out a deal to be Miami's next head coach.
Interesting.
So it's going to be crazy. Now, speaking of Duke, they're my dark horse for the tournament. They are.
I'm not there yet.
I'm not 100% there, but they're my dark horse. I'm not saying they're going to win it, but they.
The only person I have in my Final Four, I'm trying to back into trying something different this year. I'm trying to back into my bracket. So I'm trying to at least start with my Final Four, and I'm not having any luck. But right now I'm thinking Houston, Alabama. It's one of them Texas teams. It's either A&M or Tech. I think it might be. Probably
Tech, because you mentioned Tech before.
I think it might be Tech, but I got to figure out. But it's one of them. I don't know who the other one is, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. All right.
It's going to be interesting. It's March Madness. And Selection Sunday is
exciting.
This Sunday.
You all have to tune into that because, I mean, it's going to be some great games, I think, all around. Even when the women's team, and congratulations to South Carolina Gamecocks.
Yes.
Their conference championship. So it's going to be interesting. Now, I know Auburn is the number one. Even after a couple losses by Auburn, they kept them at the number one seed. I'm just not sold on them come tournament time. That's all I got to say.
Auburn, yeah.
That's all
I don't know.
Auburn men. I
got to watch the conferences. Duke won their ACC, the women's. And then I can't remember who won the Big 12.
Yeah.
But the women's conference games, I think, are just about over if they're not already over.
Right.
And then the men's conference game should be starting the end of this week.
Some of them already started.
Some of them have already started.
Exactly.
Some of the smaller ones have already started.
All right. That's all
we got.
Yeah. But an interesting sports fact. Basketball legend Wilt Chamberlain never fouled out a game in 14 years of his career.
Wow.
He was ejected a few times, but never fouled out. Which is remarkable for 14 years. And, well, I guess being a 7-footer back in the day, there wasn't too many of them. So he wasn't beating up on a lot of people. But if you have any comments, questions, or just want to drop us a note, you can reach us at memywifeandsports@yahoo.com. Leave us a message. We will respond or just say how much you like the show or don't like the show. You also can listen to our episodes on memywifeandsports.buzzsprout.com. Me, my wife, and sports, all one word, .buzzsprout.com. And check out some of our episodes. I think you'll find them very interesting. And we look forward to this March Madness season strolling in and getting back with all our listeners.
Right.
So, Darcy, any parting words?
Nope. Just enjoy March Madness. Lay back, get some popcorn, and enjoy. And as always, in parting, remember your mate is a reflection of you.